Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. It is a brisk Tuesday in November. Thanksgiving is next week.
Whoa.
We're going to have a mega Thursday preview show where we'll talk about all three Thursday games next week.
Oh, yeah. The Mega Thursday show.
Mega Thursday show. It should be fun. It should be a fun time. But tonight,
Patriots will be on
today,
that list of games.
They will. I'll get to talk about my Pats. And then the next week, we'll get to talk about the Pats again because 2 straight weeks they're playing on Thursday Night Football.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Who do they play after the Vikings? Is it the Bills?
It's the Bills.
Ooh, that's a big-time game.
Yeah, it is. But without further ado, we have Thursday night preview for Week 11 this week. Very good game. Very important game for one of the teams. So before we jump into that, check out our website, fantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platforms, please leave a review and share this podcast with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, like, and comment down below any questions you may have. So we are going to break down the Thursday night matchup, give you some guys that we like for the home team, give you some guys we like for the road team, and talk about this matchup in full. And then at the end, we'll give you a freaking pick.
Yeah.
Freaking pick, my guy. And I'm still not feeling good, so whatever.
Oh, it's all right. It's that time of the year, bro. It's okay.
It blows. I don't know if it's because like my brother had a cold and then he gave it to my other brother. My other brother was all up in my face last week and like I'm just like, can you just freaking get away from me?
That's how it is, bro.
And now like my whole family has it on the at home. My mom and dad, and now I have it. I swear my wife's gonna get it. It's going through, and I thought, for 1 second I thought it was like I'm running outside in 40-degree weather, and I don't know if that has an effect.
It probably does.
But either way, time to get
Definitely
that
doesn't
gym
help.
membership so I can run in the treadmill.
There you go. You've been saying that for like 6 months, but that's okay.
Shit, whatever.
It's easier to run on the treadmill anyway than it is to
I'll
actually
run
run
20 miles on the treadmill and claim I ran a marathon.
That'd be
Anyway,
crazy.
so big week this week for Thursday Night Football. We got Titans at Packers, very good game. Last week was very not good, and I didn't even watch. I'm not gonna lie, I was so just out of it.
Yeah, I watched
watching that
about
game.
maybe half that game.
I will say I did
if
turn
that.
it on. There was a point I turned it on, but I forgot it was on. And it got to 8:45, and I was like, oh, my God, I didn't do my rankings. Massive L for me.
That's okay. It probably was – it would have been a dub if that was me because I ranked Foreman lower than most people. And then he went
I would have
off,
ranked him higher than most people.
Well, then that's really an L for both of us.
Yes. But anyway, Titans at Packers should be a really good game. 41.0 over-under. So, for whatever reason, this is a lower over-under than last week, and I don't get it. Vegas, what do you see that we don't? Good defenses? I don't.
Yeah, I don't think they're a fan of either of these offenses.
Huh. Well, either way, let's start with the Tennessee Titans here. And, our yesterday's show was really long, so today's show should be shorter. Right? What'd you say?
Yeah, I could probably say so.
Okay, all right. At quarterback, going up against the Green Bay Packers is Ryan Tannehill.
Tan my hill.
Yeah, Tan my hill. Here we go. He's back. Better than ever. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Ryan Tannehill. Green Bay so far this year been kind of interesting. They usually are good pass defense, bad run defense, and that has been up to par. So far this year, Green Bay has given up 13 fantasy points a game to the quarterback position, which is one of the toughest matchups for a quarterback. So I take back what I said on the waiver show.
Now, he did play Denver this past week and put up 20 points, which is arguably one of the best defenses in the league.
I just don't know. But I if like right now Tannehill's a streamer.
Yep.
And against tough matchups, I don't want to go Tannehill.
I would agree with you on that.
If he has a good week, he can sit there and be like, I could have started him, but no, it's tough matchup. Like no one. If you predict Tannehill having a good matchup, I mean a good start on a bad matchup week, like I don't know, you got the sports almanac from Back to the Future,
right?
But I'm not going Tannehill.
I wouldn't trust it.
Derrick Henry, what's he been on the season anyway?
Been very good.
Has he?
Yep.
I another year, another me not having Henry on my team.
I know. Me too. I don't have Derrick Henry anywhere
in a single league. Like Rick, have we ever had Derrick Henry in any like regular league?
In a regular league, I've never had Derrick Henry.
Me neither. So top 5 again.
Yep.
Very good.
I mean, he's just. They're never gonna not. I feel like give him 25 carries a game. Like he's already at 200 carries on the season.
Right? He's 28. He's old. And for a running back, he's old. I'm 28, so I just.
And I'm not gonna lie.
Old.
He's really not that impressive when he's out there.
No.
To me.
Well, it's interesting because against tougher matchups, he does struggle. Like Denver, he had 2.79. Washington had 3.16.
Yeah, he runs over Houston, but
yeah, but then when he plays like the Raiders, Indianapolis, like even Washington, he had 3.64, which is good against Washington. The big thing is they just give it to him a million times. So, I mean, whatever. But right. I think at this point you're looking at Derrick Henry like, okay, he's 28. The ceiling for running backs is probably like, in terms of how much they are able to play and have success, is probably like 29 to 30 at this point, sometimes younger. Like, I'm surprised Henry's still having success at this point.
Especially with the amount of work that he gets.
But I think they're just like, listen, we love Henry. We're going to pound the rock into the ground with him. He's our offense, and we're going to do it until he, pops a tire.
And I think that's going to be coming sooner rather than later. But I said that last year, so who knows?
But anyway, so for this game against Green Bay, like I said, this is one of those interesting matchups where like they're really good at stopping the pass, but they can't stop the run. And so this should be average 21 fantasy points a game against the run. We know Derrick Henry's good, so this should be a Derrick Henry game. I hope we get a couple of stiff arms and a couple of get off me's in this game. I like it. I say I hope, but like I don't have Derrick Henry.
That's why, bro. You gotta do DraftKings lineups and then play guys you don't have.
Fair enough.
Who are good.
Maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
It was so funny because you posted your DraftKings wins this week. You won like what, $20-$30?
Something like that.
Yeah. So you're a good win. The guy on Fantasy Pros. And, so like sometimes there's people, okay, who like they pay a lot of money for DFS, a lot, and they'll buy like 50, 60, 70 lineups in one event.
Oh yeah, they'll spend like $5,000 to $10,000.
Yeah, and like week. And then they win the $1 million pot. And they're like, oh look, I won. And it's like, yeah, well, you spent freaking $50,000 to get there. I don't have $50,000. I don't know about you, Rick, but
no, I have
$50,000 in student loans. Can't use that as collateral for my bets.
I think I put $3 in this week and got 20.
But so I was like, all right, this guy in Fantasy Pros, Derek Brown. You heard of him, Derek Brown?
I've heard of him.
Yeah. So he does work for Fantasy Pros, and he posted his DFS this week, and I think I will maybe put like $100-$200 in, a couple of one-off matchups. Okay. The guy won $15,000.
Wow.
So I'm like, what are you doing that I'm not doing? Do I just need to do this every week?
You do. You have to take like 5 or 6 L's in a row, and then you'll win big.
So it's like we're all out here bragging about our $20 victories.
Right.
And then all of a sudden,
I love my $20. Hey, look.
I'm trying to hit the parlays.
If I would have put that same lineup into a $100 bet, I would have also won probably $1,000. So
yeah. See, that's fair. But anyway, I just don't know how he did it when he was only in one. Put one team in each one of these like events. I don't know, but they were high paying. They were like $40 to buy in. So maybe that's the trick. I shouldn't start thinking about that. Waste money. But anyway, Derrick
Definitely
Henry
put all your money into it.
should be a big game for him. No one else really on the running back core for this team that I would be interested in. Wide receiver.
Oh gosh,
Nick Westbrook, Ekine. I don't even know how to say your name, bro.
He's been their wide receiver one.
He's been good. This week he had 28 points. I don't even think he's a waiver wire pickup. I don't think he's going to do that again, and I don't think he should be started in this game, especially against Green Bay, who's tough. Robert Woods, however, is another question, and I think if it wasn't Thursday night and there was a sit show, Robert Woods would probably be on it.
I don't even know if he's at.
I don't know
if
he's even a start.
He's rostered in less than 50% of leagues now.
Yeah, he's been horrible. So Robert Woods is kind of dead at this point.
Fun fact about the Titans, and I might tweet this out. They don't have a wide receiver in the top 70 for fantasy.
Dear God.
They do not have a top 70 wide receiver.
Really
There's hopes about Traylon Burks. This week was his first game back. Had 6 targets. Only had 5 fantasy points though.
Dude, this dude looks like Zeke had. He instead of doing 3 trips to Chick-fil-A, he did like 7.
Are we talking about Traylon Burks?
Yeah, Traylon Burks. His picture. I'm looking at his picture right now. He's got this huge baby face. He looks like an offensive lineman.
Yeah, he's a. There was problems in the offseason. Some people were reporting that he might have been a little overweight.
That's not a good sign. Hey, we'll see. Breakout inbound for Traylon Burks? I don't know. Speaking of offensive linemen, Jeff Saturday. Man, he looks good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
He looks thin.
He lost a lot of weight.
I was like, good for you, dude. After all those years of being forced to eat cheeseburgers to protect Peyton Manning. Looks good.
Yeah, he does.
Anyway, any tight ends you want for this game?
Oh my gosh, no. Really, outside Derrick Henry, you don't want to touch any Tennessee Titan with a 10-foot pole. That being said, one of them will probably do well. I'm going to say Burks has a good game, but I'm not.
I mean, you would hope.
People to start him.
He did not play this week, correct?
He did.
He did, and then Westbrook had 1 million points.
Yep.
All right, I don't get it.
I know.
So it's different. I don't really like Tennessee that much.
No.
But they're 5-3. Or what did they win Sunday?
Yep, they did.
6-3?
6-3, I think.
Good God. How do they keep winning football games?
They have a decent defense and they run the ball 30 times a game. They play like it's 1984. And Vrabel's a good coach. He's a really good coach.
They started off real slow, and I was hoping he would get fired.
Dude, they're 6-3. You want to know what their point differential is?
What is it?
It's -2.
Oh,
and they're 6-3.
Dear God,
that's insane.
All right, let's talk about the Packers because I'm done talking about dead dirt.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers continues to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. He had 20 points this week. Right, that's correct. 20 points around there.
20 points, 19 in 4-point touchdown leagues though.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So he's been. I feel like he did some. I don't think he's gonna click for fantasy, and have 30-point games again like this year. He might have one or two maybe, but I think something clicked this Sunday for them, and they got a win. And like similar to Tom Brady, the week prior, the week he got officially divorced. With Giselle.
Yep.
If you want the tabloid headlines.
2-0.
Brady went out, had struggled all day, and then they had that really good drive at the end of the game to win. And then Brady comes out this week and gets another win. So something's starting to click for the Bucs. I think for the Packers, something's starting to click there as well. I think, Rodgers and the offense is probably going to start to see some improvements, but they are playing the Tennessee Titans, who are 4th in points given up to the quarterback position with 20. So I would say this is a good matchup for you if you want to start Aaron Rodgers this week. Hey, shoot me if I get that wrong.
I'm forced to probably start him unless I go with the waiver wire.
You're forced to make that decision. Good luck, friend.
So I'm going to ride it with Rodgers this week. Hope he does well. It's a good matchup.
You chose this life.
It does worry me 2 things, that it's Thursday Night Football.
Unacceptable, bro. You chose this life.
I know I did. And the Titans, it's another one of these weird situations where it's like they're considered to have a good defense, but they give up a lot of fantasy points to quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand that necessarily. I think Josh Allen really killed them in week 2.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I am starting Rodgers, and I want to say he's a low end QB1 this week, but I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, I would be too. Like I said, like sometimes you have a good matchup, and then it's on Thursday night, and it's like, oh god, and it's like
it's exactly how I feel.
And then the game ends up being 10-5, and you're like, how did they score 5 points?
Right.
So it's like I don't know. We'll. It's interesting, but the running backs they got, Aaron Jones, 23 points. He's got to be a start on a week-to-week basis. Just to give you a heads up on where the Titans rank against running backs on the season, they have given up.
I would assume it's really
16.5 to the running back position. So it's a tough matchup. So I would say don't anticipate him having like a monster performance this week.
Yeah. He's been kind of up and down this year anyway.
Yeah, but he's still
more up than down, but has had a couple bad weeks.
That's Aaron Jones if he ever had him.
Right. But, it's possible that this could be one of them.
But you know who sucks?
A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, A.J. Dillon.
Might be one of the biggest busts because it's one thing to, have a bad year.
It's another just to be completely blow.
Well, right. It's like, it's one thing to have a bad year and Jerry G, for example, up and down this year, has been injured on 2 separate occasions in mid-game, like first quarter. So he's missed time and he's had games with 0 fantasy points because he got injured in the game.
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon's been 100% healthy all year. He's been in the role that we expected him to be in, and he has not cracked 10 fantasy points since week 1.
Yeah.
It's really disgusting.
Yep.
He's at this point, he's just
looks like he's averaging RB 35.
I think if Aaron Jones wasn't there, though, he'd be great.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's interesting because they just don't know. I think at this point they don't know how to utilize him with Aaron Jones, which is funny because they talked about using split back and all that different stuff. And
right, I think he doesn't get enough carries on the ground and enough touchdowns where it doesn't matter that he gets very little passing game work.
Okay, all right. Unrelated. So, Paul Gutierrez of ESPN spoke to Raiders owner Mark Davis.
Oh, here you go.
On Josh McDaniels. And this was the quotes from Mark Davis. People in this world want instant gratification. The guys get coached 9 games. We're 2-7, not the results we're looking for, but at the same time, we've lost 6 games where we've had the ball with a chance to win at the end. He said he has a dreaded vote of confidence, and then he laughed and said, I gave him the vote of confidence when I signed him to a contract to be the coach of the Raiders. He said Rome wasn't built in a day. I'd like to also add that this is a giant, long way of saying I can't pay 2 head coaches or possibly a 3rd head coach to be on my staff because I made really bad decisions. So we're going to keep Josh until he figures it out.
Well,
so he's not going anywhere, it looks like.
That's great.
Side note. Anyway, don't know if that deserved breaking news because I thought he was going to get fired today. You lose to the Colts.
So Patriots people, we want him to come back. But.
We do. But anyway, yeah, so Dylan, if Aaron Jones gets hurt, is definitely a good option, but that's not going to happen.
That's all he is at this point, just a handcuff.
Yep. At wide receiver, a lot of interesting guys. I think at this point, Romeo Doubs is kind of reclined to the MVS kind of.
Well, he has been hurt.
He hasn't played. Right. But he's kind of at this point where he's like, when I say MVS, I mean like sometimes he's good and everyone says he's going to be good and then he just doesn't work out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could be a better version of that, but I do get what you're saying.
So the 2 guys that I think are, I don't know if Dobbs is going to play this week or not. Probably not.
He was out 4 to 6 weeks last week, so he's
okay. All right, he's done. So we have Christian Watson, Al Nazard. Everyone was talking about the Samurai Torre.
I know.
Coming in, I'm like, you people shut up. I literally saw that and I laughed. And I'm like, a bunch of idiots are going to go on their sleeper app. They're going to add Samurai Torre, and some of them are going to start him because a bunch of fantasy analysts were like, this guy's going to be good this week.
How many points did he have?
Somehow, I don't know. Nothing, probably. I'm out here roasting him and I don't even know. He probably had 20.
No, he definitely didn't.
No,
I don't know what he got.
Torre. Hold on. I got this. If I could freaking spell it.
I was going to say.
All right. He had 0 targets, 0 catches, and a 19% snap rate. Sometimes fantasy football ain't that hard, and taking a 6th on the depth chart wide receiver as an option this week is not a good idea.
Yeah.
So the two guys are Allen Lazard, Christian Watson. Lazard had 7 points this week. Obviously, Christian Watson had 32. So the question is, who has more chemistry with Rodgers? And I think that's going to be an interesting question to dissect, because after a 32-point game for Christian Watson, I'm like, I want to start him.
Yeah.
I want to start him, but I don't know if I should. And especially against Tennessee, where, they've given up to the wide receiver position, middle of the pack, but where is their freaking name, dude? Why can't I never find the Titans? It's the hardest name to find in a group. Actually, they've given up 33 fantasy points a game to the wide receiver, so I don't know how they give up so little points to quarterback. Oh no, they're bad at.
No, they're.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're good against running back.
My sick brain is confused. So 33 points a game to the wide receiver position. So this is a good week. I like it.
Okay, so that makes you confident to start.
I'm confident to start Christian Watson
because I might do it as well. Pair him with Rodgers.
Get
the stack.
All
right.
Who do you like more rest of the season?
I don't know. Watson definitely has more upside. But when you ask the question, who has more chemistry with Rodgers? I mean, right now I think it's still Lazard. Watson definitely has more talent and more upside, but I don't know if right now he has more chemistry. And I think that's an interesting question to factor into who would you rather start this week with Lazard or Watson, because Lazard coming off a bad week. So it's either going to be this is just the Watson show now, and he's just going to carry it to the end of the line, and we're just seeing a breakout right before our eyes, or Lazard this week they go back to Lazard and he gets like 10 targets and has a good week.
It could go either way. I do agree with you. Rest of season, I like the upside of Christian Watson, so I would probably roll with Watson and just see what happens. But as far as this game, like choosing one over the other, like if you have both, oh God, I don't envy.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
The position that you're
Lazard's the safer choice.
So that's what you got to say. If you're in a matchup, and you have to play fantasy football. Like everyone likes to give fantasy advice based on no information that they have. And everyone has a different kind of situation going for them in their league. And we can't, obviously, as fantasy analysts, jump into your fantasy week or your league and determine what's good or bad for your league depending on who's doing what, right? We're not in the in and out day-to-day operations of your fantasy league and how other people treat playing fantasy football in your league.
Right.
Or who's a tough matchup for you. So what I would do in this situation if I had both is I'd look at my matchup and I'd go, all right, sleeper's telling me I got a 78% chance of winning. There's no reason to take a risk. I'm going with Allen Lazard, and I'm going to go with the guy that higher ceiling, has a better opportunity. If he has success and he has a big game, that's great, but I know he's going to get me 7-10 points if he has a bad game. Whereas if you know you're going to lose this week, and it's not going to happen. Like, you're like, probably going to lose, tough game, and you need a big game. I would go Christian Watson. I'd say roll him out there, roll out the red carpet, and hope he has 30 again. Because if that happens, that gives you a chance to win. So I think if you're looking for a big game and a breakout, go with Christian Watson. If you're looking for a good floor play, go with Allen Lazard.
As someone who is probably not a great team, and I'm playing against a team who in our home league I think is going to be 7-3, I think I'm going to play Christian Watson.
All right, there you go. You don't have Allen Lazard, so that doesn't doesn't hurt you. But I like both in this game, though.
Okay,
I like both.
I like to hear that.
All right, let's talk about tight ends. Robert Tonyan, don't want to play him anymore. I'm out on Tonyan.
Yeah, I kind of am too.
Big
Very
Bob
sad.
Tonyan. Love you, buddy.
But just when you're out is when he reels you back in. So expect the 15-point week this week.
Every time. All right, there you go. Thursday Night Football. Rick, who you got? Give me a pick.
This could backfire because I think Derrick Henry's going to run the ball and do well, but I'm going to say Packers.
I'm going to say the Green Bay Packers as well. There you go. We got starts and sits, and we definitely got buys and sells this Friday. It's going to come at you. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube, and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.